Let me set the record straight and tell you that the new Honda Civic Type R is one of my favorite cars this year. It's the fastest front-wheel drive production car and the fastest hot hatch too. It's an insanely well-built machine for the track and back roads, but it's not perfect.
The Type S, however, might just be it though, because it retains all the performance attributes as the Civic Type R, but delivers it in a much more well-rounded package. It's priced about $7,000 more than the Type R though, which sounds like quite a bit, but compared to what it's up against, like the Corolla 35, the Audi S3, it's actually a very good bargain. And I'll tell you this right off the bat, that the other competitions won't even stand a chance in terms of outright fun compared to the Acura Integra Type S. A few weeks ago, we reviewed the Acura Integra, not the Type S, but the regular A-Spec model. And that car is a great daily A to B commute car, but it kind of lacks a little bit of fun. It's not exactly a sports car per se, and it kind of lacks a little bit of engagement, especially from the engine and the clutch, which kind of seemed a little bit dead. But that's why we have the Acura Integra Type S, which is the exact opposite of that car, because this car is pretty much the Honda Civic Type R with an Acura badge on it. It's the same exact 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, but this makes 320 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, which is about 5 horsepower more than the Type R when you're using 93 gas. It's tuned a little bit differently, but it's pretty much the same car. All right, let's put it in Sport Plus mode and do a quick launch. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, 100. There you go. It's basically the same speed as the Type R, about 0.1 seconds slower, but I don't think anyone would really notice the difference. It's not as fast as the German all-wheel drive competitors per se. Those cars probably do like mid-4s, but I much rather the Type R because this car is 3,200 pounds, which makes it way lighter than any of the German competitors and definitely way more fun. The only reason why I would want like a Corolla 35 or anything is for drag racing, I guess. Other than that, this is just way more fun and entertaining, especially with the manual gearbox. Ooh, those pops, oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't know if you can hear it, but that sounds insane. But yeah, the 6-speed manual in this car is brilliant. It is basically the same exact transmission as the Type R. You do get a slightly different shifter. It's not completely metal like the Type R. You get leather wrapped on the side, which will prevent you from scalding yourself in the summer and freezing your hand in the winter. You still get the little shift diagram, and the shifter is nice and short, really precise. It makes it really easy to rotate through gears, and I have absolutely no complaints about it. The clutch is also perfectly weighted. It's a little on the lighter side, same exact clutch as the Type R, not too short like the regular Integra and not too long like the GR Corolla. It engages into gears really nicely, and it just makes you feel exactly what the car is doing in terms of the transmission. Around this turn here, oh my god, a tremendous amount of grip. You get just the right amount of feedback from the clutch, which I absolutely love. And the active rev matching changes depending on which drive mode you're in. If you're in comfort mode, it kind of downshifts like an automatic car. You don't notice it. It's super smooth. Second gear, super smooth. But when you put it in sport mode, more aggressive, more pops and bangs for sure. I like how you can change how aggressive the active rev match is. And speaking of drive mode, we do get a comfort, a sport, and a sport plus mode. And all new for the Integra and the Type R is an individual mode, which you can customize. You can have the engine, steering, suspension, and the gauge cluster changed to whichever mode that you desire. But let's keep it in sport mode because this is exactly the drive mode you should be in when you're driving on a road like this. And just like the Type R, you get that really magical limited slip differential and the super clever dual axis suspension in the front, which allows you to just come into the corner and just send it even on an uphill. So much grip. You forget that it's a front wheel drive car. And again, okay. Yeah, this thing is insanely good. Just so much force pulling out of a corner. You do get the same exact platform as you get in the Honda Civic Type R. It uses the same floor plan, it has the same firewall, and it has the same suspension hard points. The hardware for the suspension is exactly the same as the Type R. And all the various links and bushings are also shared. And the springs and anti-roll bars are exactly the same as the Civic Type R. You do get the same PS 4S 265 30 R19s with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss and the same 4-pot Brembos with the 2-piece ventilated rotors as well. The same wheelbase of 107.7 inches and the same track width of 64 inches in the front and 63.5 inches in the rear. All that means is that you can tear up a back road just like this one with absolute confidence because it just glues itself to the ground. You get an insane amount of grip for a front wheel drive car. I don't know how they do it. Usually there's a lot of torque steer, there's a lot of wheel hop, there's a lot of wheel spin, but somehow they just manage to put pretty much all that power down through roads like this. You really don't need an all-wheel drive car. Well, you do unless you have a Type R or a Type S. But other than that, you should get an all-wheel drive, but these cars are the only exception for front-wheel drive cars. There's absolutely no understeer around this hairpin again. Oh my god. Downshift again. Active rev match really helps with speaking to you guys and shifting and turning. The torque you get powering out of these corners is just great. You don't really have anything to complain about. There's also plenty of feedback from the road. The steering is precise. There are a few key differences though, and these are the things that makes it a better daily commuter car than the Type R. It's about 29 pounds heavier, and a lot of that weight is due to insulation. But not only is it the insulation, but also the stamping on this car is different. The metal that they use is stiffer, and there's more sound deadening involved. The software controlling the adaptive dampers is also tweaked slightly, minimize the rebound dampening. There is no Plus R mode in this car. Instead, you get a Sport Plus mode, which by the way doesn't get the cool gauge like the Plus R mode in the Type R. Instead, you get the basic Honda Acura gauge, which is a little bit of a bummer because I really like that horizontal rev meter, but also not a big deal. On rougher surfaces, it doesn't catch itself as quickly as the Type R because the rebound time is a little bit slower because the suspension is programmed differently. The steering in comfort mode is also a lot lighter than the comfort mode in the Type R, which takes a lot less steering effort if you're in like a tight spot or a parking spot, and also when you're driving as a daily car. But when you switch it into Sport Plus mode, it's pretty much on par with the Civic Type R steering. It's as razor sharp and precise, and nothing wrong with it at all. The chief engineer explained that the Type R is meant for racetracks. It's meant to kick ass on time attacks, hence the R for racetrack. The Type S, however, is optimized for street performance. So the S probably stands for street sport something. With that explained, it all makes sense why there's the differences between the Type S and the Type R. Compared to the Type R, you can drive this thing unnoticed. There's no huge wing in the back. Instead, you get a small lip spoiler, it's more subtly designed to blend in with the streets. The seats are also less aggressive. You're not getting the bucket seats that you get in the Type R. Well, these are still pretty grippy because they're suede, but again, not like race car type of seats with harness holes and all that. You're missing all of that in the Type S. But what you do get instead are heated seats. They're also powered, 12-way power adjustable with lumbar support, and the seating position is slightly higher, which makes it a little less helmet friendly. But if you're just street driving this car, there's really no difference. On top of all that, you don't get the Honda Log R data monitor with all the cool track gadgets that you can monitor, but instead you get the 16-speaker ELS Studio 3D audio system, which sounds really good, a lot better than the Bose and the Civic. But that's pretty much kind of the differences that you get between the two cars. This is made for street driving versus the Type R, which is made more for the track. It sounds way better than the Type R. You get pops and bangs, you get crackles, it's louder, it sounds deeper, and that's because there's no front resonator in this car. Because the Type R is sold internationally, it has to meet standards of different countries for the exhaust system. Meanwhile, the Type S is exclusive for North America, which has more relaxed exhaust rules, so you get this better sounding car, and that's one of the few things that would make me choose this car over the Type R. Also, you don't get the fake engine noise you get in the Type R, which I really did not like. Instead, you get actual car noises. Oh my god, the pops and bangs. And the turbo whoosh. This thing sounds, this is probably the best sounding inline four that you could buy. Maybe the CLA, but that's kind of like overwhelmingly like trying to be cool. Meanwhile, this is pretty much all natural, which I kind of dig. In terms of fuel economy, you get 21 miles per gallon in the city and 28 miles per gallon on the highway for a combined average of 24 miles per gallon, which is identical to the Civic Type R. But if you really care about fuel economy, you should just look at the regular Integra, which does a combined 33 miles per gallon, which is very impressive. The Integra also comes with Acura Watch, which includes your forward collision warning with braking intervention, your active cruise control with lane keep assist. You also get road departure warning. You even got road sign assistance, which displays the speed limit on the dashboard and your heads-up display. And you, of course, get the blind spot monitors and rear cross traffic alert and parking sensors. When you're driving it on a back road like this, you're gonna notice pretty much no difference between this and the Type R. It's really only when you're setting lap times when you really feel the difference, like the rebounding on the dampers. Other than that, it's still undeniably fun, and it handles pretty much the only car that it doesn't handle as well as for a front-wheel drive car is the Type R. And I still think it handles better than the GR Corolla and, of course, the Golf R. This thing is just, this is one of the most fun cars that you can buy right now.
On the exterior, this thing looks mad. Very aggressive styling and sharp lines throughout. Of course, you get the iconic Acura diamond style high gloss black grille with the dual LED headlights with automatic high beams. You've got the radar sensors behind the huge front Acura badge, and underneath that, you'll find the intercooler, intake vents, and a lot of brake cooling as well. Onto the side, you'll find 19-inch 10-spoke alloy wheels with PS4Ss and Brembo brakes, and then the sleek body line that carries you right around the back, where you have these brand new taillights, which people either love them or hate them. I actually like them a lot. And then of course you get the optional carbon fiber duct lip spoiler, and just like the Type R, you get 3 center exhaust tips.
Inside the Integra, Integra, it's basically a Honda Civic, but with more premium finishes. You got nice and soft padding all around you. You don't get a knee pad on the side. You get somewhat of a knee pad on this side. You got perforated leatherette seats with ultra suede in the middle. They are really nice. They hold you in place quite well, surprisingly, even though they're not the bucketed seats in the Civic. They are also 12-way power adjustable with lumbar support. But what is interesting is that you don't get memory seating, but that's something that you get in the regular Integra A-Spec. You also get heated seats and you get heated steering wheel, basically the same Honda steering wheel, but with an Acura badge. That's fine though, given how upscale Honda interiors are. You got your mechanical HVAC knob, you got your mechanical volume knob, and you got this 9-inch infotainment screen, which I have no complaints about. No knob, just a touch screen, really easy to use. You got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you also get a wireless charger down here as well. Coming to the center, you got this leather wrap shifter with metal in the middle, which is different from the Honda Civic one. You also get suede wrapped around it, and you got your drive mode controllers, your brake hold, and your electronic parking brake. In the middle, you get your 10.25-inch digital cluster. No Cool Plus R mode view though, but it does look really good. You got your little Integra icon in the middle. No sunroof though, just like the CTR for weight savings. And of course, you get your heads-up display, which displays your road signs, your speed limit, your navigation info, and your driver's assistance system. Hopping into the back of the Integra, it's actually a lot of space. It is a much longer car than in the past, of course, and you got plenty of space. You got 4 seats in the car because you do get this weird cup holder thing, just like you do in the Type R. No vents, no USB chargers back here. Auto up down, windows don't exist either, and it's basically a regular Honda back here, but with a lot of space, of course. No power tailgate, it's completely manual, which is interesting for this price point, but it is a Sportback trunk. You get 24.3 cubic feet of space back here. No spare tire, just like the Type R, and you got your subwoofer in the back as well. You get the practicality of a hatchback design and the looks of a Sportback, which is kind of nice.
In a nutshell, the Acura Integra Type S stands as an absolute powerhouse in the world of sports sedans. It's a Type R, but for grown-ups. It effortlessly marries state-of-the-art technology, heart-pounding performance, and a sleek, modern design into one jaw-dropping package. With its vigorous engine, razor-sharp handling, and a host of cutting-edge features, the Integra Type S promises a ride that's exhilarating as it is effortlessly cool. This reborn legend, flaunting its fresh design, innovative tech, and plush interior, is not just another car. It's a statement. Acura's revival of the iconic Integra nameplate in the form of the Type S underscores their unwavering commitment to delivering unparalleled performance, style, and value. The 2024 Acura Integra Type S is an extraordinary successor, offering an unbeatable fusion of power, practicality, and refinement, all served up with a price that would put entry-level German cars to shame. That's all, guys. Thanks for watching.